Okay, let me just press it. Good evening to all the members of TiBLANEI present today for the first student presentation series on Tibeto-Burman languages of Northeast India, and also to our guest participants present here. Today's session will be basically moderated by Dr. Bijen Kumar Singh. And before he moderates the session, I'd like to request Professor Madhumita Borbora to kindly give a welcome note for the session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Monali. And it's a very appropriate, I would say the right approach, involving students with their presentation, because after all, this TiBLANEI, the main objective of TiBLANEI is not only to know what the linguists are doing, but also the future linguists who are working in so many lesser known, unresearched languages, and their place their findings. And today, when you start with the two presentations, one by Krithika, research scholar, and she's going to talk on negation marking strategies in Rankol. And the other presentation is from a MA student, linguistic student, who is from 4th semester, Irish Ardao. And she's also going to talk on gender in Jeme. Now, there are two languages that comes from Dimahasao, Kukichin, and a Naga language. And that itself is, it encompasses Northeast. Convey my best wishes to the scholars who are going to do the presentation. There would be an interesting interaction between the participants present for the session. Unfortunately, I have a prior engagement for which I have to go, but I will definitely look into the PPTs and then we can find out the interesting aspects. So I would advise the presenters to highlight their findings. That is very important. They would definitely be referring to a lot of work done by previous linguists or, top-notch linguists. But what they have found on their own in both the languages, in both the aspects of that is in gender as well as negation, that would be important because they have to put themselves in the right direction and show that they are doing some very important and interesting work. So I would like to wish all the best to Irish and Krithika. And I would also like to thank Monali and Bijen for taking this initiative and all the members of TiBLANEI who are attending this program. Okay, thank you for having me here to give the welcome address. Okay, let's start. Yeah, this would be the initial beginning from which we are going to go to, I suppose, even the scholars would come up with very interesting findings, and the findings are more important. That is what I would like to say. Okay, all the best. Okay, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for your encouraging words, ma'am. Thank you very much for your encouraging words, ma'am. And this gives some kind of motivation to our young linguist who will be presenting today. And from my side also, best of luck to both the speakers. So I'd like to request our moderator, Dr. Bijen Kumar Singh, to kindly announce the session open.
Okay, Monali, please excuse me. Later on I'll get it. Thanks for having me. Yeah, sure.
Ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Monali, the chairperson of today's talk. And thank you, Professor Madam Borbora, for your kind words and encouragement for the TiBLANEI team and to the presenters. So a very good evening to all the members and all the attendees who are participating today's student presentation, which is organized by TiBLANEI. So today we have two presenters. Both of them are from Department of Linguistics, Assam University, Silchar. So we are very happy, and I really appreciate the efforts of Dr. Monali and the department that they have come voluntarily to the forefront that yes, we will present in this presentation series. So first, I would like to thank both the speakers for their voluntarily agreeing to present it to show their research work. So without wasting any more time, let me introduce both the presenters for today's session. So today we have Krithika Barman, she's a PhD scholar to the Department of Linguistics, Assam University, Silchar. And the second presenter is Ardao. She is an MA Linguistics 4th semester students from the same department. So first, I would like to give time to Krithika Barman, and as Dr. Monali already announced and in our program schedule that we are giving 20 minutes for your presentation and 10 minutes will be followed for the discussion. And if the presenters finish before time also, we can continue with the discussion. And for the remaining time, we will take question. After that, we'll invite the other speaker. And after that, also both the speaker will be here and participants can ask their question and queries. So now I would like to invite Krithika Barman to present your presentation. And Krithika is going to present on the negative marking strategy in Rangkol. So yeah, over to you, Krithika.
Yes, thank you, sir. I'm sharing my screen. Sir, can you see my screen, sir?
Yeah, it's coming. It's not coming completely,
Negation
but
marking.
we are. Yeah, yes.
Is
Please
it?
go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Negation marking strategy in Rangkol. Rangkol is one of the endangered Tibeto-Burman languages of Northeast India, UNESCO 2009. Rangkol belongs to Kukitin subgroup of the Tibeto-Burman language family, Pearson, Note, 1903. Rangkol is mainly spoken in the Mahasau and Karbi Anglong district of Assam and Dholai district of Tripura. According to Ethnologue, the total population of Rangkol speaker in India is estimated about 18,700 year 2000. Typological overview. Typologically, Rangkol is a language. Rangkol has inclusive, exclusive distinction. Rangkol has strong agreement system. Rangkol is final. Negation marking in Rangkol. Negation is expressed by means of suffixation. There are 7 negative markers in Rangkol, such as ma, mao, noning, loi, mak, and no. The 6 negation markers are discussed in different types of sentence constructions, namely declarative clause, imperative clause, interrogative clause, and hostile clause. In Rangkol, negative markers follows the main verb. Negation marker in declarative clause. In declarative clause, the negative marker ma is a general negator used by the Rangkol speaker. Some examples are amapa, afema. Ama is third person singular, pa is male, I is person agreement, say is go, ma is negation marker here, which I didn't go. Second example is table lekhabu omma. Table is locative, lekhabu is book, om is existential, and ma is negation here. So there is not any book on the table. Furthermore, the negative marker noning and mau are used to negate the declarative clause in Rangkol. The negative marker noning is used when the clauses are in the future tense. As for some examples are abung, bu noning, abung is today, bu is put, noning is negative here. So I will not have put today. Abuan sipul fe noning, abuan is today, school, say is go, noning is negation here again. I'm not going to school today. However, when the clauses are in non-singular construction, negative marker mau is used. For example, say amahi is by may mau. So say is first person singular, amahi is here, precise before, nay is perfective, and mau is negation marker. I have never seen you here before. In another example, Tehai fa mau. Tehai is mango. Fa is eat. Is negation marker. I do not eat mango. Abun bu mau. Today, abun's today. Bu is food. Mau is negation marker. I didn't have food today. Negation marker in imperative clause. In Rangkul, the negative marker no is used to negate the imperative clause. The imperative clause is ungrammatical without the imperative marker row. Some examples are hong no ro. Hong is come, no is negation, and ro is imperative, so do not come here. Haka fa no ro. Haka is that, and fa is eat, no is negation marker, ro is imperative, not eat that. Negation marker in interrogative clause. In interrogative clause, the wait and yes or no questions are negated by negative markers mark and loy in Rangkul. For example, itin mo hong mark che, itin mo is why, hong is come, mark is negative, and che is emphatic marker. Aren't you coming? Itinamo nirziek teloy. Itinamo is how, ni is second person agreement, ziek is right, te is can, and loy is negative marker here. How can you not write this? Ni hong loy. Ni is second person agreement, hong is come, loy is negative marker here, rang is future, no is question particle, aren't you coming? Gari lives say mark chemo. Here Gari is star, lays associative marker, so say can, mark is negative marker here, she is emphatic, more question particle. If not, you go by the car. But in example, again example 13, Amanu ka itomo kama, ama is third person singular, no is female, five focus. Itomo is why, five it, mark is negation. So why is she not eating? Negation marker in hortative clause. In Rangkul, hortative clause are negated by adding no to the verb, as shown in the following examples. Amapa supui feno. Amapa ama is third person singular, pa is male, supu is market, fe is go, no is negation. Let him not go to the market. In a feno, go, please go, no is negation here. Let's not go. The item. There is no exact item for term for nobody, no one, etc. Instead, the speaker use someone, and in this case, verb is negating the clause or sentence. For example, tute homa hai kyu mun a. Tute is like someone, and home is some. Ma is negation here. Hai is plural. He is first person agreement. Moon is house. I is located. Nobody comes to my place. Tute umma hai. Tute is again here someone, and om is existential. Ma is negative. Hai is plural. No one is there. Amapa ite inre ma. Ama is third person. Pa is male. Ite is like something. Inre is no. Ma is negation. He knows nothing. Right. Finding. In Rangkul, negation is expressed by means of fixation. Negative marker follows the main verb. In declarative clause, the negative marker ma is used as a general negative marker in the language. In declarative clause, the negative marker noning is used when the sentence construction are in future tense, and negative marker maung is used to negate the non-future sentence construction. The negative marker no is used to negate the imperative clause. The negative markers mark and law is used to negate the interrogative clause. In hortative clause, negator no is used to negate the clause. In negative polarity item, the verb is negating the clause as there is no exact term for nobody, no one, etc. All these negative markers cannot be interchanged with each other as each of them has a distinctive clause. This is long.
Okay. Thank you, Krithika, for your short and elaborate presentation on negative marking strategy in Rangkul. Okay. So now we have enough time so that we can take some question, queries, and suggestion, definitely the valuable feedback for the scholars so that her research work can be improvised. So now the floor is open for question, discussion, comments, and any query.
Can I?
Yes, please. Yeah, Uncle. Yeah, Uncle Moshe. Yes, please.
Krithika,
Yes.
will you kindly flash your first or the second slide? I would just like to refer to your second slide.
Uncle, do you want to see that declarative or which section you are?
The first slide of the negative formation.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Go back. Go back. Okay. I think.
Yes, I think it is the one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, the earlier one.
Oh, okay.
Yes, this one. Amma pa afema, right?
Yes.
You said I didn't go to your translation.
Yes, sir.
But in your this thing, you said that 3SG, right?
Yes, sir.
Third person
Oh,
singular.
sorry, sir. Yes, sir. My translation was wrong, sir.
Okay.
It will be he didn't go there. Sorry, sir.
Okay. Because of that, I was all along confused. So
Yes, sir. Yes.
I assumed that this was a mistake. Right?
Yes.
Am I right?
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for correcting me, sir.
Okay. That is all I wanted to know.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Uncle, for the observation. Yeah, I think this was an typing error from the presenters, so that can be corrected. Yes. Uncle, do you have some more question observation for the Krithika?
No. That was a very beautiful presentation.
Okay.
That was a very beautiful presentation. Only I wanted to. I was confused. She was saying that I and
Yes.
Yeah. In the
annotation
glossing,
says
yes.
that in the glossing it was say 3SG. So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle. Yes. I think yes. Still, we have time, so we can take some more questions. Yeah, Charlie wrote in the chat box that thanks for your talk. I have a question I will write. Charlie, you can speak directly to the Krithika.
Bejan, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought, well, it's helpful to have the text there too. So if you show your 6 negatives again.
Yeah.
So
Krithika,
I was just wondering if I missed something. Yeah. Did we have some unity between the Ma and Maung and Na Ning? I think that they're the same form that's shortened, or are they completely different items? That's my question.
Like, as far as I have seen, I think they are not related. Like, they are different from each other. Noning and Maung are separate from Na and Ma, I think, as far as I have analyzed. But I need to check more because I'm still working on this paper. Like, it's still ongoing.
Okay.
But as far as I have seen so far, I think they are separate, not like same.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Vijay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Actually, I don't want to come quite often because since I'm very.
No, sir. Yeah. Yes, please. Yeah.
somewhat for the for the benefit of the candidate. I have a few points. One is regarding the use of the negative marker ma or mak. Okay, the form is mak, but usually in fast speech, speakers do pronounce it as ma also. So that is noted in my annotated text collection of Barak Dali Kukitin languages. If you see them, here there are three negators. One is the mak, ma, mak, and one is no or nok, and then the other is loy. So those forms are there. Regarding the usage of the term ma, you use the word general negator. So when you say general negator,
Yes, sir.
this is confusing because mak is used is declarative or negative.
So for declarative, they generally use ma in Dimahasa or Rangpur, sir. But I will check on this, sir. I'll
Use in simple sentence.
Sir, your voice was
cannot hear you.
breaking. Sir, your voice is breaking, so we are not able to hear you clearly. Yeah, your voice is breaking, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's better, sir. Please. Sir.
Okay, internet connection must be weak. Okay, internet connection is weak. So that is one point. So use the term something like the negator mak or ma is used for negating a statement or a declarative sentence. Okay, or sentence.
Okay, sir.
Then the second one is no, and you have ning.
No need, yes, sir.
So no and ning. We have read my article on agreement on Kuki-Chin languages of Barak.
Yes,
He
sir.
is the future marker, and NG is the first person. So those things are totally absent. So here, what happens in these languages is that the negator, the tense, and person markers are glued together as one phonological. Researchers who are not very in tune with such phenomena would not be able to dictate them. So you can refer to my paper on agreement languages. For Che is also a first person. What you call post-verbal agreement. So in addition to this post-verbal agreement, you also have pre-verbal agreement. So those outlined in detail in my work. Okay.
Okay, sir.
She is absent in the in the slide. She is absent. I noticed something.
I'm not here. I cannot hear you properly.
Yeah, I think Pauthang
the voice is broken. The voice is broken.
Yes, so we are not able to hear you clearly, sir. Anyway, so I think Pauthang sir was trying to convey to the presenter that you should look into the agreement features, which is very prominent in the Kuki-Chin languages, as I think Rangkhol being one of the Kuki-Chin language. So sir wants to incorporate in your future research how the first the point that sir was making was mak and ma. So the mak and ma, it seems both are the negative marker for the declarative sentences or for a normal statement. So ma and mak, ma may be economy form of the mug, but if I perceive rightly, because there was a break in between the sir voice. So yeah, you can have a look on these features and in your language, and you can incorporate in the future. Yes, we have some more minutes so that we can take some question and query. I personally encourage our MA student and PhD scholar who are attending today's presentation. So you can, ask questions, don't hesitate, and you can share your observation, your comments. Yes, I invite, if anyone wants to say something to the Krithika, then you can share.
Bijan, I just wanted to add to what
please.
Thang Hokip has said, like regarding the agreement, no? Like there are two types of agreement that is occurring. When it is in the affirmative sentences, it is pre-verbal, but when it is post-verbal, then basically when it is negative sentence form, then it can be post-verbal. So I think Krithika has to look on that, because that's what Hokip was mentioning, that was missing.
Yes, right.
So like ning and the nga, and also the che, and there are other forms with the lay as well. So I think you have to look what happens to the agreement in the negative counterparts.
Okay,
Krithika. That is all I wanted to incorporate with what he was trying to say, and the voice was breaking up.
Yeah. Thank you, Monali, for your supplement. Yes, so still we have 6 more minutes for Krithika. Yeah, Charlie, do you have some more question, query, comment, suggestion for the Krithika?
I was just asking for the paper. I couldn't hear the paper that was mentioned, so I was just asking for it in the chat. That's why I put one more thing. So.
Okay. All right. So yeah, still we have 5 minutes. So
I think Raju muted once. Maybe he had a question.
Yeah, Raju. Yeah, Raju, do you have?
Yes,
please go ahead.
Sir. Yes.
Yeah,
No, like
please go ahead.
most of the things I was worried about, like Fautang sir has said, but unfortunately I couldn't hear all the sounds. So Monali ma'am also mentioned some, but what I was curious about is she gave an example number, I think 3 and 4, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Like, she means she marked as no as a negative marker, and or no ning as a negative marker actually. So I think no ning, yes. So ning will be changed. I think 3 and 4. Example number 3 and 4, suppose.
Next slide. Let's go to next slide.
Next slide, yes.
The slides are not moving. Krithika, just go to next slide.
It's not moving.
Not okay.
You click
so,
once there, or you
Yeah.
You have kept no ning as a negative marker.
Yeah.
So I think ning should be separated, because like what we found is like no is the negative marker and ning will be the first person agreement here, if I'm not wrong. So here accordingly both the examples you have given the first person. So I think no ning will become like no nge or no something if it comes to second person or third person. Like
yeah, that's a very yes, sir.
I think my voice is better now.
Okay.
So
yeah, please.
This is exactly the point that I was trying to make. So we have something like no ning. So this is the problem with many of the Kuki-Chin languages, especially the old Kuki-Chin group, where the negative.
Sir, we are not able to hear you again. Hello.
I think if if you can just type the
better, yes,
suggestion in the chat box, then it will be better, because we cannot hear you at all. It's totally blank.
Yeah, yes. The example that example number 3 or 4, I forgot the ning that Raju was pointing out, that this may be agreement marker, but seeing the English translation, it seems to me that it can be a fuser marker as well, because I forgot exactly, but yes, you can have a look.
It can be fused also sometimes, like agreement and tense marker.
Yeah, seeing the English translation. So yes, so you can look, yes, both. Yes, see, I'm not going to the school today means this is an action which is yet to be happen. So it can be a future. The ning can be a future marker as well as an agreement marker. I think Raju is an Rangkhol speaker, right? Or
No, I'm a Bodo speaker.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay,
Oh,
can
Bodo
I
speaker.
come in again, Vijay?
Yeah. Your voice is clear. Yeah, please go ahead, sir. Now.
I don't know what happens to my internet. So what I'm trying to say is that here the negator, you have the negator, then the tense marker, and then the person marker here. So in these languages, what happens is that three elements: the negator, the tense marker, which is the future, ni is the future marker, and nga alone is the first person post-verbal agreement, clitic. You may call it clitic or agreement, person agreement. So what I actually do is I say no, then you have a break, then the future marker, and then first person singular. So this is the post-verbal agreement. Nga alone is the first person post-verbal agreement clitic in this language.
Okay.
And if you go to che, for second person, you have the form che. Okay.
Yeah,
So for the form person is che. Then for third person, it is zero. Okay. For third person, it is zero, but in the plural form, you have the singular form is zero, but you have the plural form something. So the second person plural is singular is che, and the plural form will be joy. Then for third person, it will be minus. That means third person singular is zero. That is not indicated, but you have the third person plural form. Those are discussed in detail in my work. So I have a time to go through my work. I've discussed all this in my work on agreement on Kuki-Chin language. Okay.
Okay.
You can have a look. You can also discuss.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sure. Yeah. Thank you, sir, for this observation. And you can have a look on Dr. Pogthang Haokip's paper.
Yes.
You can revisit once, and you can incorporate those important points in your future. Now, yes, we have to stop for Krithika now, and we can continue.
I just want to intervene. There is one Rankol speaker also here, Elizabeth Rankol. So if she wants to say anything.
Yeah, Elizabeth, you can share if you have something for Krithika on her presentation. Yeah, Elizabeth.
I think she has
okay, no problem. Yes, we can continue the discussion of Krithika's paper at the end of today's talk. So now let me invite, you please stay tuned with us till the end of today's presentation. Now let me invite Iris Ardao. So Iris is going to present her presentation on the topic gender in Jeme. Yeah, Iris can say something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Times is yours.
Hey, everyone. The topic of my presentation is gender in Jeme. Jeme is a Sino-Tibetan language of the Tibeto-Burman language family, spoken in the northeastern part of India. It is one of the Naga dialects spoken by the Jeme people, mostly found in the Dima Hasao district of Assam, Tamenglong district of Manipur, and Peren district of Nagaland. This language is known by various names in these three districts and states. It is known as Jeme in Assam, Zeliangrong in Manipur, and Zeliang in Nagaland. Linguistically, Matisoft 2001 has classified the Jeme language under the Kuki Naga section of the Kamarupan group of the Barik subdivision of Tibeto-Burman family of languages. Grierson, 1903 to 1928, in his Linguistic Survey of India, has classified the Jeme language under the Boro-Naga group of the Tibeto-Burman language family. And Schaefer, 1955, in his classification of the Sino-Tibetan languages, classified the Jeme language under the Kukish section of the Burmic division, which comes under the Sino-Tibetan language family. Jeme is a vulnerably endangered language, and it is an agglutinating language and has tones. The word order of this language is SOV, that is, it is a verb final language. The focal point in today's presentation is settled on the Zemel language spoken in the Haflong area in the Dima Hasao district of Assam. And the present paper is an attempt to study about the various gender markers and the gender marking system in Zemel language. The methodology used in this research paper is that the data were recorded directly as well as recorded through phone. The device used for the recording was a mobile phone, and the recordings were later listened and transcribed and glossed, which was then analyzed later. The process of collecting and analyzing the data was a simple method used in this work. Gender. Gender in general is defined as the grammatical category that classifies noun either into masculine, feminine, or neuter. Nouns can also be primarily classified into two classes: animate nouns, which includes human beings and animals, and inanimate nouns, which includes neuter gender. In all the Tibeto-Burman languages, gender is not marked grammatically, it is natural. That is, all males comes under masculine and all females comes under feminine. Similarly, gender in Zeme is also natural. Animate nouns. In Zemel language, the gender of animate nouns in case of human beings has been discussed below. Number 1, animate nouns with a change in a single sound, that is consonant or vowel. In Zemel language, a change in a single sound of a word brings a change in gender, as in found only in kinship terms such as apau and apai. Apau, here is a first person singular genitive marker, and pau refers to grandfather. Apau means grandfather and apai, grandmother. Number 2, animate nouns with gender markers peu for males and pui for females. In Zemel language, the gender markers peu and pui are used for kinship terms, attribute nouns, and also to indicate males and females of a particular community. For example, kinship terms, apeu, father. Apeu, first person singular genitive marker. Peu refers to a masculine marker, father, and apui, first person singular genitive marker. Pui, feminine marker, mother. Akina peu. Here a refers to first person singular genitive marker. Kina, sibling. Peu, masculine, brother. Akina pui, first person singular genitive marker. Kina, sibling. Pui, feminine marker, sister. Attribute nouns. Me, met. Me peu. Me met. Peu, masculine marker. Met, man. Me pui. Met. Pui, feminine marker. Met, woman. Kusenga. Ko is a nominalizing prefix. Senga, lazy. Kasenga means lazy, and kasenga peu, nominalizing prefix. Senga, lazy, peu, masculine marker, lazy man, and kasenga pui. Ko is a nominalizing prefix. Senga, lazy, pui, feminine marker, lazy woman. In Zemel language, the above gender markers peu and pui are also used to indicate the males and females of a particular community. For example, Jeme peu. Jeme peu is masculine marker and Jeme man. Jeme pui. Jeme pui is feminine marker, Jeme woman. Herasaume peu. Herasaume is Dimasa. Peu is a masculine marker, and Herasaume peu means Dimasa man. Herasaume pui. Herasaume is Dimasa. Pui is a feminine marker, and Herasaume pui is Dimasa woman. Gender markers in terms of names: be for masculine and le for feminine. In Jeme, gender marking system can also be seen in naming. For example, Akim Be. Akim is a mole, Be is a masculine marker, Akim Be, Akim Le, Akim mole, Le feminine marker, Akim Le, Azin Be. Azin means shade, Be masculine marker, Azin Be, Azin Le, Azin shade, Le feminine marker, Azin Le, Dwa Chu Be. Dwa is bright, Chu means growth, Be masculine marker, Dwa Chu Be, Dwa Chu Le. Dwa means bright, Chu growth, Le feminine marker, Dwa Chu Le. There are also different gender markers in case of human beings, such as Me for male and Pui for female. For example, Pecha Herang Me. Pecha means grandchild, Herang means boy, and Me is a masculine marker, grandson. Pecha Herang Me means grandson. Pecha Helium Pui. Pecha means grandchild, Helium girl, Pui feminine marker. Pecha Helium Pui means granddaughter. Kimi Me, Kimi widower. Me is a masculine marker. Kimi Me means widower. Kime Pui, widow. Kime means widow. Pui means Pui is a feminine marker, and Kime Pui means widow. In Zeme Naga, the gender markers of animate nouns plus human animate nouns can also be seen to be repeated in the prefix and suffix positions, such as Puina Pui. Pui is a feminine marker, and Na refers to the youngers, and Puina Pui means maternal sister or paternal brother's wife. Peuna Peu. Peu is a male marker, and Na refers to youngers, which means Peuna Peu means paternal brother or maternal sister's husband. In Zeme language, the gender for non-human animate nouns has been divided into two parts: animals and birds. For animals, in Zeme language, the gender markers Se for masculine and Pui for feminine are used respectively. For example, Hete dog, Hete Se, Hete dog, Se masculine marker, Hete Se means male dog. Hete Pui, Hete means dog, Pui is a feminine marker, and Hete Pui means female dog. Meow, cat. Meow Say means meow Say. Meow means cat. Say is a masculine marker, and meow Say means male cat. Meow Pui, meow cat. Pui is a feminine marker, and meow Pui means female cat. For birds, the gender markers Pui is used for female birds, but there is no gender marker used for the male birds in Zeme language. For example, Nga, crow. For masculine also it's same, Nga, crow, and Nga Pui. Crow, Pui is a feminine marker, female crow, Nga Pui. Tepeine, pigeon. For masculine, it's same, Tepeine, pigeon, and Tepeine Pui. Tepeine pigeon, Pui is a feminine marker, female pigeon. Inanimate nouns. The inanimate nouns basically refers to the nouns that do not have any gender. They are neither masculine nor feminine. This type of gender is commonly known as neuter gender. For example, heta, bangle, ngai, ring, lorry, wok, pai, cloth. So from the previous discussion, we came to know that Zemi is one of the Naga dialects which is spoken in 3 states of Northeast India, Assam, Manipur, and Nagaland. This language is known as Jeme in Assam, Zeliangrong in Manipur, and Zeliang in Nagaland. And it is one of the endangered languages of Northeast India. Gender in Zeme is natural and has various gender markers for masculine gender of animate nouns such as peo, be, and me for human beings, and say for animals. But there is no gender marker used for the male birds. On the other hand, there are only 2 feminine markers used such as pui, which is used for both plus human and minus human, and le, which is used only in naming. And these gender markers are all suffixes. There is also a repetition of gender markers, which can be seen only in the plus human animate nouns. That is, the gender markers has been used as both prefix and suffix in a single word. And in Zeme language, change in a single sound, that is, change in a consonant or vowel of a word, can also bring a change in gender. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Iris, for your elaborate presentation on the gender in Zeme. Yes, the floor is open for question, queries, and suggestions. Yes. Yeah, we have a question in the chat box from Uncle Moshe. Uncle, you can speak directly.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah,
for
that's better.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Okay, you said that you have no gender for birds and animals, and I just want to know, how do you call the cock? Cock, the not the hen, the cock in your language.
In Zeme language, it's Ndruire.
Will you kindly repeat?
Ndruire.
Re. Okay.
Ndruire, yes.
Okay. Does that query refers to your presentation tonight?
Yeah,
Sorry,
let me come
sir?
into it. Yeah, Iris, if I'm not mistaken, Uncle Mosen wants to know that in your presentation, you said that there's no masculine marker for birds, right?
Yes, sir.
So, but there are feminine markers for the bird. So Uncle wants to know if he wants to address a male, hen, that is how we address as a cock, then how do you, make the differentiation between this male and female in, maybe bird or...
Yes, for hen they use Ndruipui. And for cock they just use Ndruire.
Re.
Yes.
So pui, so pui and the ray,
Yes.
right? These are the markers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Ray means cock.
Okay. Yeah, Uncle, do you want some more to say? Yeah, yes, I think.
So I just want to say that Pui and Ray is the sex marker. Pui for the female, Ray for the male.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is what I want. I just want to argue with you. What do you say?
Yes. Yeah, then you can update your data once again. Means you can cross check whether the points that Uncle is you can share the screen once again. Yeah, you just go to that slide, particular slide, the bird one. I think next, na? Or is it the one?
Slide 11.
I think it was the next slide, Monali.
Okay, I'm trying to share the screen then.
Mm-hmm.
This one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what Uncle Mosel is trying to say is that
Yeah.
there is a
See here,
ray
poo.
with the masculine bird, and then Dre,
Mm.
Ray, and then you have Dre Pui. So Ray could be the masculine marker.
Yes,
So
definitely.
it may not be uniform for all the birds. It may not be uniform also that say will be there for all the animals. It might be a different marker for wild animals or for pet animals. So you just see the semantic classification also.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
So, or maybe
So
duck.
like
Duck
here
also.
you see the crow, na? Is it possible to say nga gray, like nga
No, sir.
pui?
No, sir.
No,
They
na?
only use nga.
Okay.
It might be because of domestication also. I'm just wondering because crow and pigeons are not actually domesticated, and hen is a poultry. So I think that is what I was trying to say. Like dog is a
Yes.
pet, cat is a pet. So if you give hen, then you may find ray, and if it is a duck, you may also find a ray. So if you can look into the data more with the wild birds and domesticated birds, and you might find some distinctions.
Yeah, this is a very important and interesting point that Uncle Mosens has argued. See, the ray is possible with some of the birds, and ray is not possible with some of the birds. Then what is the reason and what are the paradigm that it can be, a mark? Means you have to classify them separately, clearly, and I think that was the point that Uncle wants to make. Thank you, Uncle, for that important and interesting question. So, yes, any other question, query?
Hey, Vision, can you hear
Yes,
me
sir.
now?
Yeah, it's very clear, sir.
Okay, so what I have seen throughout the presentation is that for masculine, irrespective of whether the reference is animate or human or non-human, we have different masculine markers. Something for animal, you have something like say, and also you have. So there is a differentiation. There is a different form for animate, animate human and animate non-human in the masculine forms. But what is consistent is that irrespective of whether the difference of the noun is animate or human or non-human, you consistently have pui. So pui is consistent masculine marker in this language. But for feminine, for masculine, you have a different form. That is one thing. So what is important here is that if you can make a table, so at the end of your, you have a table, you mark for something like masculine, feminine, for human, non-human, and so that it becomes easier for us to grasp. And also it's a good practice when you write your thesis. Always use some tabular form because it's difficult for the readers to go back and forth every time. So we have a table so that the table captures everything. So, but you have not mentioned anything about pronouns. So pronouns, how do you distinguish between masculine pronoun and feminine pronoun? That is not there. And certain words might not have gender marker or might have a separate, might have a totally different way of indicating male and female. So for example, in my language, so bachelor, so bachelor has different lexical items. So there the normal gender marker will not apply. So you can find out where are the cases where the normal gender marker don't apply, whether there are words in the language which do not follow the general gender marker and have separate words to indicate gender, that is male and female. So these are some of the observations that I have noted. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, that was a very important, suggestion from the Pautang sir. So yeah, in the languages, what we observe is there are certain words which doesn't need any gender markers to be feminine or to be a masculine, like king and queen. It doesn't require any gender marker in particular some languages. So sir wants you to look into it, like bachelor, like for male and female, there is no particular marker so that it is a spinster or it's a bachelor. So you have to you can check on that area as well. And another point was the pronoun marking of gender in the pronoun. That was the third point. Thank you, sir, once again. So yeah, still we have time, so we can take some question query. Yeah, uncle gives a compliment. I wish all the best to the two presenters tonight. Okay. Yes, in between when we are waiting for other friends to come in. So yes, Jeme is spoken in Manipur, Nagaland, and Assam. So which variety is the one you are working right now?
Assam.
Assam variety.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's very good. Yes, and one thing I would like to point here is that in your description about the Jeme language, you said dialects of Naga. Okay, so I think you have to relook into that statement, because Naga is not a particular language. It's an umbrella term which covers many languages, right? So under Naga, there are so many languages, it comes under it. So if you treating, I don't know whether you are referring some particular literature that you have caught here, but I want you to relook into it. Okay, that the statement that you are using here, that Jeme is a dialect of Naga. I think something like that it was there, right? Yeah, that is one of suggestion. Yeah, from my end. Yes. Still, I invite the question query suggestion from our friends and attendees.
Yeah, Bijan, I
Yes.
just saw one of her slides and I was curious to ask if it is possible to, from this slide, if it is possible to remove the me and pui, because herang is already a biological gender as boy and helium is already a girl. So is it optional or is it mandatory to still have me and pui, Arish?
Ma'am, it is mandatory. I asked my informant, then they say that no, we have to use me and pui.
That's quite interesting because you have a herang which is already there in the lexeme. They have a lexical gender, but the morphological gender verifies the gender marking strategy. So it's quite interesting. Same thing for this kimi and kime also. Already kimi is masculine and kime is feminine, but you're still having me and pui.
Yeah, you can. Yes. Yeah, Monali's point is right, because the word itself means it can be a lexicalized gender which is indicated in the word itself. So sometimes the marker may or pui may not be required if you drop it. Yes, you already said that you have asked to your informant. So in some particular construction, is it possible to drop the may and pui, or is it compulsorily it has to be there? You can relook into it.
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah.
This,
I think
this has
yes,
something
sir.
to do with the nature of data collection, because the problem with elicitation is that because you are very much after the masculine and the feminine marker, so by natural tendency, the speaker would like to add that one. But it appears here that even if the gender marker may and P are not there, because this can be recovered from the election. In my opinion, I don't think these are obligatory. Rather, they should be optional. So it depends on how you collect the data. So the speaker knows that you want to get the gender form, the masculine and the gender form. So everywhere they might give you this kind of this thing. So if you take some other sentences, some text, and all, so what happens there? So it depends on how you take it. Sentence data. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So yeah, apart from Iris' presentation, if our friends has any question, queries, or comments for Krithika, also they can ask now. And we can take last 2 questions for each of these presenters. One for Krithika, one for Iris. Yeah, Uncle Mohsen wrote, I would like to request on the gender session. Yeah, thank you, Uncle, for that suggestions. Do we have any more questions, query, observation, suggestion?
In the closing comments.
Okay, sir. Yeah, please,
good
sir.
to see young scholars volunteering for the presentation. This is a good sign. We have a long way to go, so this is the first opportunity for us to showcase our research. But what we need to improve is that we are still caught up with this traditional description of languages. So there are more coherent way, there are more better way in which you can approach any particular topic. So in the case of negation, instead of simply presenting of course, those negative markers will no doubt appear. We have to keep them in your presentation. You say something about the usage of negative marker, because negative marker is normal. It's a preferred way of in a discourse. If you look at the discourse pattern, so you find more of a negative usage, even to convey a positive message. So negative are a very normal way of expressing even affirmative sentences in the language. So that in a way the language use it. I don't know, as a strategy, or maybe it's, there is some strategy going on. So instead of making some direct affirmative sentences, use the negative marker to affirm the same sentences, and which is often the preferred choice. So some of these phenomena which go into the language should also be explained. Anyway, this is a good overall. This is a good beginning. Keep it up. Keep the spirit. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your words of encouragement. Yeah, as Pauktan sir was the last closing, remarks. Not closing remark. Last questions. Actually, that was not a question. That was a compliment, as well as that was a suggestion for the team as well. So yeah, now I would like to congratulate both the presenters, Iris and the Krithika. And yes, definitely you have got many valuable suggestions and feedbacks from our participants, as well as from our experienced teachers as well. So you can incorporate all those suggestions and feedbacks in your future research, and you can improve your research in the future. So yes, I think that's all. Now I would like to hand over to Dr. Monali, the chair lady of today's presentation. Yeah, over to you, Monali.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bijan, for moderating this session excellently. And thank you to all the participants also joining in the session. And to both the presenters, Krithika and Irish, for very promising presentations. I mean, on topics on those researchers that are very necessary for documentation in Kuki Naga languages. I would like to request Dr. Bobita Sarangtem to kindly unmute yourself and give vote of thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Monali. I take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks on today's first students presentation series. And I'm grateful to the paper presenters, namely Ms. Krithika Barman and Ardao for their wonderful presentation. And I would also like to thank everyone for being here. Your support is heartwarming. Thank you once again. Over to you, Monali.
Thank you, Bobita. Thank you very much. Yeah, and one quick announcement. Very soon, we are also going to have Shobhana Chelia's talk on possibly on the 20th of October. So we will soon share the flyer in the Facebook page and update to you soon. Thank you. Good evening and good night to all.
Good night. Bye-bye.